We're Mind, the mental health charity. We're here for anyone with a mental health problem in England and Wales. We work nationally and locally. Nationally, we give advice and support to anyone who needs it. We campaign to improve services and speak out to raise awareness too. We're funded by donations, grants and profits from our charity shops. If you donate or fundraise for Mind, 85p of every pound goes to our charitable activities. On the High Street, we have over 150 shops selling clothes, books and toys. They give away free mental health information booklets to anyone who needs them. In communities, we have a network of over 140 local Minds, independent charities that raise their own funds and have their own trustees. Local Minds deliver mental health services to hundreds of thousands of people each year. Being local, they understand their community and tailor their services in response. We work in partnership with our local Mind network, delivering high-quality services to everyone who needs them. Together with our shops and our local Mind network, we are Mind.
I was about 16 when I was diagnosed with depression. My doctors think that it stemmed from my parents divorcing and struggling with school, really.
It all started when my father died when I was at high school.
It all started in university during my final year.
It all started when I was 16. I came out of a relationship I was in at the time and I started purging and self-harming.
I first realised I had a mental health problem when I was 15. I was cutting myself every day and crying all the time.
Soon after the attack happened, I started to feel throes of anxiety, panic attacks started creeping in.
I first realised that I had a problem when I really wanted to stop all the things I was doing, but I just couldn't seem to stop no matter how badly I wanted to.
I was suffering from hallucinations, which at the time were really scary because I didn't know what was reality and what was my imagination.
At my worst, I felt like I was absolutely worthless, alienating and destructive, with no help of recovery.
I felt like I had this black cloud hanging constantly over my head, and it's just a feeling that stays with you and you can't seem to get away from it at all, and you feel completely alone.
I felt like this was going to be it forever.
I felt as though I'd never reach any of my ambitions or my goals.
I felt like I was in my own bubble, hearing muffled voices of people around me.
When I had my first proper mental breakdown, and I decided to run away from home.
I felt like the world would be better off without me.
My mental health problem means that I go through many highs and lows which I struggle to control.
Sometimes I just want to hide away.
I feel that I have to make everyone else happy and every day is a struggle, but I just remind myself that I'm strong.
My mental health problem means that sometimes the world can be a very scary, very dangerous and very dark place.
Everyday tasks can become the most mammoth missions that seem like you're never going to be able to do them.
My mental health problem means that life is hard.
The hardest thing about having a mental health problem is people not realising that there's something wrong with you and that you can be really ill even if you look absolutely fine. I think especially having an eating disorder, people assume that you're going to look a certain way or be a certain size or a shape, or they imagine certain stereotypes that aren't necessarily true.
Like the social, and in my case like the cultural stigma associated with it.
If I'm having a bad day, no matter how small it is, it feels like the whole world's crashing in on me and things just keep getting worse.
Just trying to get the people around me to understand what I'm going through when they haven't gone through something like me is probably the hardest thing.
Social situations in particular can be really difficult. I sometimes can't commit to what we'd call sort of normal everyday activities.
The word schizo, I think it has a lot of stigma attached to it. I really don't like it.
What really reassured me was knowing that there are so many other people out there who've got the same diagnosis as me and that I'm not alone.
Having my 2 rescue dogs to look after and to take care of, because I know that they need me around and they're always happy to see me. So no matter how bad my day is or how awful everything seems to be, I know that they need me and they always make me smile.
Having such a great network of friends, family, and people who are out there who can help.
I'd look at how far I've come and everything that I'd gone through and realise that I am still standing.
It really helps seeing my friends treat me the way that they did 6 years ago before this all started. I was that happy, laid-back person, and that's the person that I want to be and aspire to be again.
It really helps me when people just treat me normally.
I'd like people to treat me like you would your own mother, I guess. Yeah, I think that's a good way to treat people.
I don't want people to tiptoe around me.
I would like people to treat me like any other normal person, but also just to be a bit more sensitive around me, not to be stigmatised, depression and everything, and telling me to cheer up and everything.
I wish I'd known how much I was going to grow and learn as I grew up and grew older. I wish I'd known how much therapy was going to help me and how much I was going to gain from that. And I wish I'd known that it was possible to meet people who would love me for all of me, including my mental illness.
That I didn't have to feel so alone and that there was a lot of support out there.
That there are people out there and organisations that can help me.
I don't regret having mental health problems because it has made me who I am today.
I wish I'd known just how supportive people can be once you tell them what you're going through.
People are accepting. They're not going to walk down the street and cry, "You mental case." They're not going to, they're not going to do anything like that. Everyone's incredibly understanding. And if they're not, them.
So the best piece of advice I'd have to give would be just getting over that initial fear of coming out to people about your condition, because once you talk about it, it really does help.
The best piece of advice I ever got was to just focus on today, because you can't change what's happened in the past, and there's honestly no real way of predicting what's going to happen in the future.
I know it's hard, but be yourself and be brave, and you will recover.
Take each day as it comes, and even if that's too much, break it right down to just 5 minutes at a time. I find that really helps.
Just ask for help, just make that step and ask anybody, and they will be supportive for you.
Everybody has scars. Some people have them in the mind and some people have them on legs like I do.
Just basically be yourself. That's simple enough and what it might be a bit cliche, but I guess it's true.
It's okay to be mental, and that most people are, just not in the same way as you, but there are ways to get help.
Even if you think that things can't get better, that you've tried so many times and you've fed up and you've had enough of trying, things really can, and you can get better and you can recover. So don't give up on yourself.
There are a number of misconceptions surrounding mental health. There's an enormous stigma. Britain is a country, perhaps more than any other, where you might say that the national emotion is embarrassment. And nowhere is that clearer than when it comes to issues of mental health. We're addressing a real crisis. 1 in 4 people in any given year suffer from a mental health condition. The greatest cause of death amongst men under the age of 35 is suicide.
My first overdose was in 2003, December. I felt I had no future. I couldn't hold down work. I genuinely believed that the people around me, for all the hurt I was causing them, would be better off if I wasn't there.
Bipolar changed my personality by making me the person that I didn't ever want to be. I was very, very low. My self-confidence, self-esteem and self-worth went. I just felt very sort of isolated, and I felt like I couldn't talk to friends and family because I couldn't really express what was going on. I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't put it into words how I felt.
When I was in hospital, physical restraint would happen quite regularly to me. I spent most of the 90s, which was my 20s, in and out of hospital. with 5 really serious admissions. It was just an unimaginably fearful experience, and I felt quite scared, isolated, not had many people to turn to.
Someone mentioned Mind to me. I went down one evening and I was fortunate that one of the staff there was able to spend some time with me. He just reassured me that what I was living through was perfectly normal. I began to develop relationships and friendships with people who I could actually speak openly with about my mental illness. People who, as I put it, they got it.
My first experience of Mind was through a recovery centre in Hackney called IRE Mind. Just went there and it was fantastic staff, discussion groups, art, empathy, compassion is at the forefront of their organisation.
They really do help people, and they care as well, and it's very, very obvious that they're there because they want to help people, not just because it's their job.
There's something really extraordinary about the Mind Network and the work we do with people with lived experience of mental health problems. Sometimes people come to us because they need our help and support, but as they receive that help and support, they often then become part of our movement for change.
I got in touch with the media team and they asked me if I would like to be involved in a couple of the projects.
Over the last couple of years we've been campaigning on the issue of restraint, which is when somebody's being held down against their will. Gary was very involved in the campaign from the start, and he really helped to bring the campaign to life by sharing his very traumatic experiences so that people could understand what it feels like to be restrained.
Just sharing that lived experience, which is so important. A lot of the experiences, once you talk about them, I'm sure it does take away a lot of the fear and normalises it a bit.
Because Solent Mind have helped me, I want to give back and help others because of the fantastic work they did with me. They started coming up with different ideas that I could do, and one of them was to start going into colleges. My name's Avi and I'm from the mental health charity Solent Mind, and we raise awareness and understanding of mental health in a project that I run called Heads Up, which is for young people, and just to get an understanding of what mental health is and how important it is to talk about mental health.
I thought, you know what, I'm going to raise some money for Mind, because I'd never forgotten the impact that Mind had had on my life. I'm now currently approaching the end of 12 months of fundraising for Mind.
It was the most amazing experience of my life, running the Virgin Money London Marathon for Mind. The crowds were absolutely fantastic. Mind constantly say that no one should live with a mental illness alone, and that's my mission, to help them to achieve that and help others in the same way that they helped me those years.
We are Mind, and we are working together to make a huge difference for now and the future.
In this video, we will highlight some of the signs and behaviours associated with mental health conditions. Knowing these signs may help you, your friends and family, or work colleagues break through the stigma surrounding mental health and start a discussion. Statistics have shown that 1 in 4 people will suffer with a mental ill health issue in any given year. This can be as high as 1 in 2 adults who are in debt. Over the past 25 years, anxiety and depression in teenagers has risen by 70%. Mental ill health covers a wide spectrum, from the worries and grief that we all experience, to severe depression or complete loss of touch with reality. Anxiety. We all experience levels of stress and anxiety, whether work pressures or family related. However, for some people, the feelings of anxiety can be prolonged and extreme, making it difficult to carry out simple, everyday tasks and can even cause panic attacks. Common signs to look out for when dealing with an anxious person include reduced concentration and memory, difficulty making decisions, become irritable and angry, and avoid certain situations. Depression. As with anxiety, most of us will experience ups and downs in our lives and during difficult times. If the low mood doesn't improve or go away, this can be a sign of depression. Someone suffering from depression can feel sad, anxious, guilty, angry, helpless, and hopeless. They may also have low self-esteem and a tendency to believe that others only see them in a negative light. Other signs to look out for are self-criticism and blame, impaired memory and concentration, neglecting responsibilities, and loss of interest in appearance and personal hygiene. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a severe mood disorder and causes unusual fluctuations in a person's mood. People with this condition can find it hard to maintain relationships and jobs due to their extreme moods. They may lack focus or be unwilling to concentrate on what to you seems to be an important issue. People with bipolar disorder can be full of energy and talking very quickly, easily distracted, going off on unrelated tangents, lacking in energy, or feel sad, pessimistic, and hopeless. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a widely misunderstood and feared mental illness. People who suffer from schizophrenia do not have dual personalities, but are rather split from reality and may have delusions about themselves or others. These symptoms can have a major impact on the ability to hold down jobs, maintain relationships, and many other aspects of everyday life. People with schizophrenia may appear distracted by things that to you doesn't seem apparent. For instance, they may start paying attention to another unheard voice, or even have a conversation with someone who isn't present. This can result in them finding it difficult holding a conversation while they are distracted with other thoughts. Obsessive-compulsive disorder. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, known as OCD, can be a very disabling condition. Feelings of anxiety are combined with obsessive and unwelcome thoughts that lead to compulsive behaviours. A common obsession is a thought that dirt and germs have contaminated them and find themselves needing to wash hands frequently to feel clean. Compulsions are repeated activities that a sufferer feels compelled to carry out, such as constantly checking that a door is locked. These can be challenging for a person when dealing with routine tasks and managing relationships. Other common obsessions that you might notice are repeating actions and becoming anxious if they are unable to do so, fixating on a number, washing and cleaning ritually. If you think you or someone you know has a mental health condition, you are not alone. Wiltshire Mind is a local charity offering 3 main areas of support for mental ill health: You in Mind peer support groups, counselling, and telephone service. Details can be found at wiltshiremind.co.uk.